Good morning to members of the public. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, members of the media. A warm welcome to you to the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service Weekly Press Brief for today, Tuesday, the 4th of November, 2025. I am Public Information Officer Inspector Michelle Lewis, and we are here with the Commissioner of Police, Alista Guevara, and with the Deputy Commissioner of Police Operations, Ma'am Suzette Martin, to engage members of the public with information that we have for you. I now hand you over to Commissioner Guevara.
Thank you very much, ma'am. Pleasant good morning to the members of the media. As I said, the 4th and the 5th estates. On the 18th of July, I last came here and addressed you all at the beginning of the first tranche of the SOE, the state of emergency. I thought it fit that on Friday, being the extension, that I return and face you all with regarding that particular situation as well. What came to mind, I also found it necessary to speak to you all today because of certain unease that came across into the public on Friday because of what I would call misinformation. There was a document that was circulated regarding restricting police officers' leave that came out that was felt to be in a particular way with regards to certain geopolitical scenarios that were playing off in the public. However, on the 18th of July, whilst I was addressing the members of the media here, the then Deputy Commissioner of Police, Ms. George, was upstairs preparing similar documents to restrict leave for police officers during the state of emergency. So likewise on Friday, that document was also created. But for some strange reason, I don't want to say mischief, it was bandied about as some nefarious scenario in the public. So I am just here today to reassure the public that similarly to the first time when the SOE was called on July the 18th and leave was restricted, likewise, when the extension was granted, I took a decision to also restrict leave so that the police can properly prepare for their operational mandate during the extended period. There was no nefarious intent whatsoever involved in that. All right. In speaking about that, I just would like to reaffirm the TTPS's commitment to treating with crime and criminality during this extension of the SOE. We have forged part. I'd also like to speak to you about a recent conference that I would have attended in company with Deputy Commissioner of Police, Ms. Suzette Martin in Denver, Colorado. It was the IACP conference. The importance and timeliness of this conference was basically we forged partnerships, we attended bilateral talks, we attended over 25 mini seminars, and we sourced numerous training opportunities for members of the TTPS. As we speak, there are 2 such courses currently being availed to members of the TTPS from the Federal Bureau of Investigations in Trinidad at this time, arising from that conference. So we have already begun to see the fruits of that trip being born to the TTPS. I also would like to speak to you all about the recent launch of the TTPS Digital FUL Application Forum. All right. It is currently in its testing stage, and we utilized 1,000 applicants. Recently, the Corporate Communications Department have put out an ad in the daily newspapers with the file numbers of the persons to communicate with the firearms permit unit in order to facilitate the process. Now, this is what I should call it, a testing stage, and we would look and we would monitor and see how it goes before we can make particular tweaks to it. But this is taking it into a different direction. Digitizing the application of FUL files will indeed be of great benefit, not only to the TTPS, but for the members of the public. And today I would also like to introduce Ms. Martin as the goal commander for the Christmas to Carnival operations that would take place in the TTPS. So at this point in time, I'll pass you all on to Ms. Martin. She could give give you all a brief on that before we can field some questions. Thank you.
Good morning, members of the media, fellow officers, and citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. As we approach the festive season and the carnival period, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service remains fully committed to ensuring the safety of citizens and visitors under the current state of emergency. While these periods are traditionally times of celebration, we are also aware that public gatherings increase the potential for criminal activity and public safety risk. Our operations will focus on 1. Preventative visibility, rapid response, and intelligence-led policing, ensuring that the festive season remains safe and enjoyable for everyone. In my capacity as Goal Commander, I'm overseeing the coordinated security framework for both the Christmas Crime Prevention Initiative and Carnival 2026 operations. Our strategy is based on 3 pillars: high visibility policing, targeted intelligence-led operations, and community partnership and public safety. During this period, the TTPS will increase foot and mobile patrols in commercial districts, transport areas, entertainment zones, and residential areas. Our tactical unit, highway patrols, and divisional teams are conducting joint exercises aimed at deterring crime, improving traffic management, and ensuring a safe environment for all. These operations are being coordinated to allow us to monitor deployments and performance in real time. This structure is supported by our intelligence-led operations, ensuring that our patrols, roadblocks, and special coordinated exercises are informed by up-to-date intelligence crime pattern analysis. We have also established coordination with the Defense Force, municipal police, and other national security partners to ensure seamless coverage throughout the country. We encourage citizens to remain alert, especially during the busy shopping and entertainment season. Simple precautions: safeguarding personal belongings, avoiding large cash transactions, and cooperating with officers can make a significant difference. We are also asking business owners and event promoters to liaise closely with their local police station to facilitate crowd control and traffic management. So as we move towards Carnival 2026, planning has already begun. The TTPS will work with the National Carnival Commission, band leaders, and event organizers to ensure safe, well-managed festivities. Special attention will be given to major events, Fed security, traffic flows, and other public order management. So let me reassure the public that the TTPS remains fully mobilized and committed to our safety. Our message is clear. We are present, prepared, and proactive. With your cooperation, we can ensure that this Christmas and Carnival season remains peaceful and safe for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, DCP Martin. We now invite questions from members of the media.
Good morning, everyone. Gregory McBurney, Trinidad Newsday. The first question, I'm thinking the Commissioner or Ms. Martin, not sure will be able to answer this one. Regarding the number of arrests that have been made during the SOE, are you able to say how many arrests, and of those arrests, how many people have actually been charged? And similarly with the PDOs as well, how many PDOs have been issued, and how many of those people have been charged, if any at all?
Thank you very much, Mr. McBurney. Let me answer part of that question for you. The TTPS has 156 preventative detention orders that we have in our possession. And out of that, we have executed 98 thus far, meaning that we have 58 outstanding. Now, I heard you mention who has been charged thus far. A preventative detention order is specifically, as it says, a preventative detention order. It is an order to prevent someone from doing something that is inimical to public safety. It doesn't mean that they committed a crime. It means that there was sufficient evidence placed before the minister to grant a preventative order to place this person in detention for the purpose of preventing them from doing something. So it is not that they were arrested and they were to be charged, but they were placed on a preventative detention order for the purpose of preventing them from doing something that the emergency powers regulation states that they ought not to.
How many have actually been arrested, and out of that number, how many have been charged, if any at all?
All right, ma'am, you have some details.
Thus far, we have 23 persons being charged. There are also active ongoing investigations at this time, and I assure you and the public that other persons who are on the order would be charged as well.
And in terms of general arrests made during the SU, I mean, of course, the police have certain powers that they wouldn't usually have, which will, I would think, will allow them to gather certain evidence that under normal circumstances might be a bit more difficult for them to obtain. So in terms of the arrests made during the SOE, are you able to say how many arrests have been made and how many people have been charged?
So we had 3,538 arrested thus far. In terms of the amount of persons charged, I'll get back to you on that information.
In terms of the notorious individuals that have been, we'll get back to that. In terms of the police data, you'll have police data showing an actual reduction in illegal drugs, as has been cited by members of the executive, not the police executive, the government.
Yes, what the TTPS can confirm to you is that an assessment done from the intelligence agencies, including the Strategic Services Agency, as well as the Special Branch and the Special Investigations Unit of the TTPS, confirmed that as a result of the recent military strikes, which were targeting the narco-terrorist maritime operations, they've had a measurable impact on the flow of illegal narcotics into Trinidad. The intelligence indicates that there is a current shortage of the illicit drugs, particularly from those trafficked from Venezuela and Colombia. And the disruption has directly affected the availability of the narcotics in Trinidad and Tobago, which, as you know in business terms, when there is a shortage in supply, you know what goes up. So we've detected that there has been a marked increase in the price of illegal narcotics on the streets.
When the SU was first announced, you spoke about threats that were emanating from the prison. Are you able to say if any prison officials have been arrested or charged in connection with that threat?
Prison officials?
Would it be prison officers or anybody?
No, not at this time. I can't confirm that any prison official has been arrested for any incident arising out from a threat.
Yeah. The PDU, if I remember correctly, was issued for a prison official. That person remains in police custody.
Right, and as I mentioned earlier, there's a difference between a preventative detention order and arresting and charging someone. So yes, there are prison officials on preventative detention orders. There are police officers as well.
All right, are you able to say how many police officers and how many prison officers and in terms of PDUs issued?
One each.
One each.
One each?
Yeah.
Okay. Have any of the persons who are alleged gang leaders, I guess, have any of them been formally charged at all during the SOE?
Well, when you look at what you call the so-called gang leaders, you would recall that they were removed from one particular prison to another particular prison. So they were already in custody, apart from some of them on the outside who subsequently were picked up.
Okay. So they were picked up on PDOs, the
Yes.
ones that were outside. All right. The people that have been picked up under the PDOs, how long are you all able to detain them for? And what happens after that period? What happens? We just let them back out into the streets and hope for the best? How is it going to be dealt with?
The preventative detention orders are in effect from the moment they are executed up until the end of a state of emergency. So it is not to say it's a blank check that at some point in time it will end, and at some point in time the PDO will expire. At that point in time, we will treat with the matter as we see it fit. Now, I just want to point out something to you and the members of the public. We have 80-something persons under PDOs thus far during the state of emergency. And I have heard it being bandied about in the public that the police using the SOE as a crime-fighting tool. If the government had called a state of emergency and the police sat down and did nothing, what do you think will happen? You just have crime under a state of emergency. But with the state of emergency and with the hard work of the members of the law enforcement, not only TTPS, we have members of the Defense Force and intelligence agencies working in tandem with each other in order to create a safe environment for Trinidad and Tobago. And I want you to listen to something. We have 85 or 86 persons currently under PDOs. Here what happened to the crime statistics in Trinidad, with just 85 persons being taken out of the system and placed safely aside. We have a 42% decrease in homicides. You have a 19% decrease in violent crimes. A 11% decrease in other SRCs, 28% in larceny motor vehicles. Woundings and shootings down from 1,508 last year to 980 this year. Sexual offenses down, kidnappings down, robberies down, breaking offenses down, general larcenies down. That's 85 people. Well, what if we did catch the whole 156 we wanted? What do you think would happen to the crime statistics?
Just a point of clarification, you said 98 were executed out of the 156, but you have 80-something in custody. What accounts for that difference there between the 80-something and 98?
The difference is that some of those persons were already in custody. They were prisoners, so we executed on them. So it's different to those who were on the outside.
And finally, for me, the challenges to the PDO, are you able to say how many challenges you have had to the PDOs that were issued? How many of them have been challenged, rather?
You mean before the tribunal?
Yeah.
I don't have that figure at this time. I'm not sure.
I'll have to get back to you
All right.
with that figure.
Remember, that falls under not the TTPS. That falls under the other department, which is tribunals. So we wouldn't have that data. We will request the data and present it to you.
I think that might be it for us.
Nah, man. I come here to sit down to prepare
Yeah, if there's any other information you're willing to share with us.
I just admiring the fact that you're, sharing the phone.
I think that's pretty much it for us. Thank you very much. I appreciate the transparency.
Okay. And, yeah. Anybody else?
I want to add something, just something a little more. Angelo Marcel Tuesday. I realize hunting season is open, but yet still I'm not really seeing the hunters out displaying their goods, which is usually something very, very visible. Any reason for that?
So I'll share something with you, Mr. Angelo. What?
Marcel.
Mr. Marcel. The majority of those items that you usually see on display at the side of the road, they are not local goods. So what do you think happened because we're stopping the inflow of smuggled items? You're not getting the Venezuelan and Guyanese meat coming in again. So they're not standing up on the side of the road holding the smuggled wild meat. So now, again, you see the balance. It's not only working to keep narcotics out, it's also working to keep other items out. Persons from smuggling contraband into the country. And apart from that, despite the items that may be getting in, we now have a better handle or a better understanding of how the inflows work. So we are now able to capitalize on the intelligence and have some meaningful disruption. So let me share some information, even though nobody asked about it, but I will still share the information with you. Since the bombings started, sometime I think around the September the 2nd, on the 12th of September, the TTPS in coordination with the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, we seized 268 kilograms of Colombian creepy marijuana, valued at $29 million+. On the 30th of September, we executed a targeted operation in Faizabad, and we seized 201 kilograms of Colombian creepy marijuana, valued $22 million. On the 1st of October, you see a pattern, right? On the 1st of October, we seized 1,177 kilograms of the same marijuana, valued 292 million TT in the Southwestern Peninsula. On the 21st of October, we intercepted a Elantra, seizing 90 packets, again, value $5 million. And as of last Saturday, we again intercepted another vehicle in Trin City, and we seized 108 kilograms. You see a pattern? You see no iguana. You see no agouti. You see no lap, no deer, no tattoo. What they're getting coming in, we season it from them as well. So the system working.
Just one point of clarification. You mentioned just now that the PDOs they function simultaneously with the life of the SOE as well. So if, let's say for argument's sake, the SOE is extended for another 2 years, these people can be held for another 2 years without any sort of challenge just there? Or could they, you understand what happens then? How, is there some sort of legal limit in terms of the time that they can be held, apart from the SOE?
And that is a question for the lawmakers to answer. But as far as the layman is speaking, I would welcome that. As the Commissioner of Police, could keep them inside, and you seen the reduction in crime. And I hope Trinidad and Tobago is also seeing that these men having a significant impact on the crime that was occurring in the country. And if just these 98 men could have crime dropping by these significant figures, I want to appeal to Trinidad and Tobago today. Usually we say, get on board. Are you on board with the TTPS? I want to add a little spice to it today. Your silence equals crime. When you remain silent and you see your neighbor with the gun, or you know your neighbor ain't working nowhere, but you see him driving the rental vehicle on a weekend and sporting all over the place, and you know he committing robberies and stealing people's cars, and you ain't say anything, eventually, and I want to use a terminology I got when I was in the police training academy, the vengeance of Moko will fall on you. It will come back home. It will come home to roost one day, and then you will become a victim of crime because you remain silent. So your silence, Trinidad and Tobago, equals crime. Stop being silent and speak out. I see my hard-working Deputy Commissioner of Police already got an answer for your question. 3,538 persons arrested, 2,136 persons charged during the SOE period. You see efficiency for you?
And I guess the final question is related to what I just asked. So what happens when these 98 or, well, the 85, because the others are in prison still serving a sentence. So what happens when these 85 people go back out into the streets? I mean, obviously the logical expectation is an increase in crime once again.
We are hoping that our strategic inputs have enough time to take root so that we'll be able to better monitor and treat with the situation outside of SOE standards. All the SOE has done is given us an extra tool or an extra weapon in the arsenal. We have other weapons in the arsenal that we already utilize. So it works in tandem to help us to maintain the figures that I have pointed out to you. But outside of the SOE, we will still be able to do policing, and we will still be able to do our operations within the limits of what the law prescribes at that time. But at this time, the SOE gives us some particular powers, and we intend to use it to the max to protect Trinidad and Tobago. And you, so you can still go out and party and fed. And you, so you can still go and buy your wild meat legally and go and make your cook by the river.
There's one other thing, Commissioner. If you are squeezing the drugs that come in, right, you're cutting off that supply. Mm-hmm. So it means there's a number of people within the country whose income would be reduced significantly, which I would think would increase another kind of crime, because they have to at least maintain their lifestyle or pay off debts or whatever the case might be. What other types of crimes are you seeing people attempting, if that is the case?
I love that question, because the first part of that question, since we cut off the inflow of drugs and we are now squeezing the ones that happen to get through, because it's just 15 minutes from Venezuela to Trinidad, so they will get through with one or two, but we're squeezing them as well. You know, Trini is real ingenious. What do you think the first thing they want to do? They go in and plant weed, and we already treat them with that. Have men looking for particular breed of seeds from abroad to bring in. We treat them with that already. The ACP TSIU, well, the CIB, Mr. Tiwari, is already treating with marijuana eradication in all those different areas. So we're treating with that aspect of it inclusive. In relation to the other crimes, see, Ms. Martin told you that she was having particular meetings with her divisional commanders and certain heads. We have already put strategies and operations in place to deal with those aspects. But I do not wish to say more, because we don't want to alert them. We want to catch them. We don't go in the bush to hunt and make a set of noise, you know. You move silent and you move stealth. When you come out, you're successful.
Thank you.
Sure, is it right? All right.
Thank you very much to members of the media. Thank you to the viewing and listening public on the social media platforms. Remember, if you see something, to say something. Partner with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. Dial 999-555-800-TIPS, 800-8477, and 800-TTPS, 800-8877. Again, I say 800-TTPS, 800-8877. This concludes our weekly press for today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, DCP.